Rocks are all around us. It is so common that we can see it everywhere, whether we like it or not. Rocks serves as a foundation for a very huge rock formation, and it can be used in various purposes like making roads, building, polishing material, and industrial work. Here is the outline of what I learned in Lesson 4. I learned what is rock, what they are made of, and what's the difference between rocks and minerals. I learned that rocks can be classified into three: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. I also learned how those three types of rocks are formed and that rocks do not stay the same forever and change over time. And most importantly, I learned how exactly the rock cycle happened.
I learned in this lesson that rocks and minerals are different because rocks are a solid combination of two or more minerals that have been cemented together. An example of this are limestone and sandstone. While a mineral, it is not a solid combination, but it is a solid formation that occurs naturally on Earth. An example of this are silver and gold. Next, I also learned that rocks can be classified into igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks and how these three are formed. Igneous rocks are formed by cooling and solidification of magma. These rocks can be classified into two: intrusive and extrusive rocks. An example of igneous rock is pumicestone. Meanwhile, sedimentary rocks are formed by sediments that have been cemented or compacted together. These rocks are laid by layers, and if we look into it, we can find fossils of plants and animals because they were trapped before it became a rock. An example of this is limestone. In addition, metamorphic rocks are sedimentary and igneous rocks that have been transformed because of extreme pressure and heat or intrusion of fluids. An example of this is marble. I also learned that rocks do not stay the same forever, and they change over time. This means that when a rock is classified as an igneous rock for now, it can turn into sedimentary and metamorphic rocks through the process of the rock cycle.
Most importantly, I also learned how the rock cycle happened.
When rocks are pushed deep under the Earth's surface, they melt into magma. When magma cools and hardens, it will become an igneous rock. As the magma cools, different crystals will be formed at different temperature, undergoing crystallization. After this, weathering will occur. In this process, the rocks breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces. These smaller pieces are called sediments. These sediments will be transferred from one place to another by a process called erosion. Then, the deposition of sediments will happen. The accumulated sediments will be compacted and cemented together in a process of burial and compaction to form sedimentary rocks. When rocks are exposed by extreme pressure and heat within the earth but does not melt, the rocks become metamorphosed, and it will change its mineral composition and texture. The rock that is formed by this process is called metamorphic rocks. This cycle repeats and repeats, and that's how the rock cycle happened.